It says we're live.
If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout Coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
All right, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Puzzle Talk, the geocaching puzzle podcast brought to you by the Geocache Talk Network. And here are your podcast hostesses with the mostesses, my good friend and yours, Tom Brotherman, Electric Water Boy, and I am Pathfinder 33, Charles Watkins.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you? I'm doing. I'm in. These are my hotel digs. The hotel digs. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona on a work trip. And down here for the show, I have secured some loaner equipment for me to do the podcast tonight. I brought my laptop, but I borrowed a couple of monitors so that I could try and do this, because we're going to be talking about PEMDAS puzzles tonight. And to help our viewing audience, I've created a PowerPoint slide for one of the caches we're going to talk about tonight, and actually work all the way through it and show everybody how to do the math and how to get a correct answer out of this puzzle. Really enjoy this one.
It's a great puzzle.
It really is a great puzzle. So if you haven't seen K-Blast, Overachiever, over 45 minutes ago, posted his first little comment in the chat group that is a small PEMDAS puzzle. If you don't get for your answer, then you did something wrong.
No, big toe counts too.
Yeah. You could do a big toe counts. I mean, if you're one of those cachers, and we have a couple that live up near me in St. George, Utah, that wear flip-flops or their Jerusalem cruisers, their little Jesus sandals to every event. It was a little cold the other day, and they may have almost lost a toe. If they're having to wear shoes, but if they were wearing their sandals the other day, they could definitely count on their toes and whatnot. So here's the first little PEMDAS puzzle. And K-Blast put it out there. Thank you for that We appreciate it. Also wanted to give a shout out to the participants who participated in our Puzzle Talk podcast Instagram page. I put out 4 different PEMDAS puzzles over the last month on the Puzzle Talk podcast Instagram page. Some of those got met with a little uncertainty. There was some discussion, good discussion, and there were some other things that got brought up in that. So we'll bring those up when we talk about this. Yes, that is the correct answer, Jen. So, yes. Yes.
Uh-oh. We didn't just put a war on the couch, did we?
Oh,
she said, okay, she said yay math too. Woo, okay, we're good.
So we're going to talk about some news real quick, and then we're going to jump right into the cache thing. So let's find the little news bumper. Here we go. That's it. So if you haven't heard, if you haven't been on any type of geocaching social media lately, there is this thing called Cache Odyssey that is out there. Gary and them dropped the beans on a show on Sunday night. So if you haven't seen Sunday show, the POSS, the Plain Old Sunday show, then after you're done watching this one, go and watch the bean spillage that's over there at on the Plain Old Sunday show. But we want to let y'all know that there is a thing called Cache Odyssey that we are working on, that the Geocache Talk Network is working on. We're not working on it alone. We have 50 hiders in 50 different states that are hiding at a minimum a regular. For the most of us, we are attempting to hide a large letterbox hybrid geocache that is wheelchair accessible, that is a terrain 1. That doesn't mean that the difficulty is going to be 1, but we are trying to do something for ADA cachers out there. There was a group years ago called Handy Cachers that are all from a terrain 1. I'm hiding one in Nevada for it, and we've worked with HQ on this and have been approved to turn this into 6 different geo tours. And so there's going to be 1 geocache per state. They're going to be the geographics of the 6 geo tours are going to be broken up regionally, roughly. We do have a hider in Alaska, and we do have one in Hawaii. So know that that's coming down the pipe. If you are a cacher that likes to get out and do geo tours, if you are a cacher that likes to get out and do large containers, if you are a geocacher that just likes to visit each and every state in this great nation, then this geo tour set of geo tours may just be right up your alley and something that's in your wheelhouse. So you can go to cacheodyssey.com. Right now that links you back to the Geocache Talk website, but we are quickly working on this and hope to raise the funds for the geo tours with an Indigo link for that. All of that information can be found on the Geocache Talk website, cacheodyssey.com, or if you watch the Plain Old Sunday Show replay, there are links in there for all of that information. So if you haven't seen it, I've seen it on multiple platforms. I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen it on X, the previous, Twitter, and I have seen it in several different groups on Facebook. So it is getting the rounds. If you have questions about it, shoot us a message, geocachetalk@gmail.com. Gary and then we'll be more than happy to send you some information or answer any questions that you have. And so, yeah, Tom, you have anything to add to that?
Just a little bit. So you said the cache has got to be wheelchair accessible, and by that you don't mean just ground zero is a terrain 1. You mean getting to the ground zero is also a terrain 1.
Yeah, everything from the parking coordinates, everything from the parking coordinates to the cache. So that doesn't mean that all of them are going to be like skirt lifters out in a parking lot. That's absolutely not the case. In fact, none of them are going to be that, because I don't think you can fit an ammo can under. It's got to be a pretty big skirt to fit an ammo can under it. But all of these are at a minimum ammo can size. Yeah, not the little ammo cans. Like, we're talking a regular ammo can.
We want real ones.
Yeah, and it is wheelchair accessible from your handicap parking space that you're going to park at, your ADA accessible parking spot that if you're a handicacher, if you are mobility impaired in some form or fashion, right? You park in an accessible handicap parking spot. Everything from that parking spot that you're required that is there to the final location is all wheelchair accessible. Some of these are outdoor. Some of these are I've heard that some of these may potentially be at either county parks or like a state park that has a ADA accessible outdoor trail, and that it's along the ADA accessible trail. So some of them may be indoors, some of them may be outdoors. It's going to be an interesting project, but everything from parking location to get to the final location is wheelchair accessible.
I think it's going to take us back to the beginning of geocaching, where people hid ammo cans. I've seen ammo cans hidden out in the open where nobody would know there was an ammo can there unless they were a geocacher.
Yeah, I've been in the same. In fact, I've walked past plenty of them. And early in my geocaching days, when I was like, "Oh, is it this? It's this," and sure enough, that's where it was. So
it's going to be fun.
Yep. So, all right. So that's it for Cache Odyssey. If you need or want more information, check out the POSS show that just aired, or go to cacheodyssey.com. We've got some information somewhere around there. Okay, so we're going to jump right on into the show. This is a PEMDAS. And I got this idea from a event that I attended where a cache owner was talking about making one of these. And I was like, hey, that'd be pretty fun show. And so the hard part was trying to find some of these. And boy, howdy, we found a couple of doozies and whatnot. So there will be a challenge tossed out at the end of this, so stay tuned to the end if you want to partake in that. Winners or people who accomplish the challenge will be entered into a drawing for a undisclosed trackable to be given to them for free. So stay tuned to the end. And so let's jump right into this. What is PEMDAS?
It's an acronym.
It's an acronym mathematically. And what does the acronym stand for?
People everywhere making deliveries and smiles. Oh, that's what K-Blast said it was. No, it's parentheses, exponentials, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction.
All right. And so PEMDAS is got 4 different levels for it. So parentheses is first. It is all by itself. You need to do everything inside the parentheses first. Once you are done with that, you move to the next step, which is exponentials or exponents. You do all of your exponent work second. And then your third step is multiplication and or division from left to right as you encounter them in the problem. And then the fourth step is addition and or subtraction from left to right as you work through the problem. These rules were written by mathematicians thousands of years ago. And they have, depending on where you're at, you may have learned them as PEMDAS or you may have learned them as BODMAS, right? And that is brackets, orders, division and multiplication from left to right, and then addition and subtraction from left to right.
I forgot all about that one.
It's essentially all the same. Yeah. Parentheses or brackets, whether they are rounded parentheses or whether they are the squared off brackets or whether they are the little curly Q.
I was gonna say, how you gonna do that one?
Yeah, the little curly Q ones. Those are all parentheses or brackets of some form, fashion, and those are all step number 1. Exponents in Europe, they don't call them exponents, they call them orders. And so that is like 2 squared or 2 to the 2 cubed or 2 to the 4th power. Those are all orders. We call them exponents, usually in Western math.
So they don't get confused with take out the trash or go get a gallon of milk. Them's orders.
That's right. So you have parentheses or brackets, exponents or orders, and then multiplication and or division from left to right. That's one step. And so once you get to that step, you kind of have to do the whole step. And then addition and or subtraction from left to right. Now, in the Instagram page, we had some talking about implicit math or implicit multiplication and where that ranks in some of this. Implicit multiplication is not a thing. I don't know how to say it. My brother has a bachelor's of science in math and has taken every upper level math class that the University of Texas he got his degree from had on campus. My mom has a bachelor's and a master's in math, and I have a bachelor's of science and have spent plenty of time in a chemistry labs. And let me tell you that implicit multiplication is not a thing. Maybe somebody wants to make it a thing. But if you start doing some of these steps out of order, you will vastly get different answers, which we will show tonight. And in the real world, when that comes to things like math for engineering, math for bridges, math for dams, math for chemistry and mixing of chemicals for equations and whatnot, you have to do these mathematical formulas in order, because if you don't, you get dams that collapse, bridges that fail, and you end up mixing chemicals in front of you that go boom. And so it's not always, there's a reason why there's an order to some of these things. And it all started eons ago when, when Socrates was talking with rocks in his mouth. Now, I didn't make the rules. Don't be mad at me. I'm just the messenger. But our job in this show is, one, help teach you the tips, tricks, and tools you need to solve puzzle caches. And two, we want this to be a fun learning experience so that you will potentially go out and hide a geocache like this in your area. No, you're really not. You're really not. Implicit math, the idea behind implicit math is that if you have an equation kind of like yours at the top of the show, where you have, three, when you get down to it, right, you have this 3 and then a bracket and a number inside it and then a closed bracket. And that implies that you need to do multiplication. Well, the implicit multiplication and what some of that comes out with is that implied math is supposed to be done first, regardless of where it is in the equation. So the implicit multiplication is kind of given a higher order. So in that, it would be PEI, M and D, A and S, right? Where I, that implicit multiplication, is a standalone step. And because it's implied multiplication, it then has a higher precedence or in the math equation. And that's absolutely 100% false. There's no, I don't, and I went and talked to some other people who have math degrees about this. And they kind of laughed and they said, well, it's kind of, some people are trying to make that happen. The problem with that is that equations that have, the answer has been 17 for the last 4,000 years. Now the answer is going to be 3. And that it's, so it changes a lot of stuff. And so it's just not a thing. It's not supported by a majority of mathematicians. And so if you run into somebody who talks about this implicit multiplication in PEMDAS, there's nothing wrong with it. Let them have their say. Just know that, they're eating fruit from a wicked tree, because that's going to get them drastically different answers and can cause some erroneous stuff. So, all right, we are going to jump into this. The first one that we're going to look at tonight, we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. Unfortunately, the number that you need to solve all of this is on a plaque on a bridge in a park. And I tried to get in and find like some pictures of this bridge in the park and just couldn't find it. So let me get this and share the GC code. This is an old one. This is from 2005. It is GCR032. And so you can tell by such a shorter GC code that this is old. This one is from 2005. Let me share a screen. This one is called Junior's Stash. It has been archived. And potentially, if you could find the weight rating on this bridge, you should be able to get to it. But the very first part of this, it gives you coordinates for stage 1. And then it tells you in front of you is a green steel bridge with wooden planks built by the York Bridge Company. Find the plaque with the year the bridge was built. We'll call this number ABCD. And you will need to find the weight limit of the bridge in tons. We'll call that number WT for weight. And so in this, he has E and H that you need to solve for, and he has he has some math equations that come into this. So 2 times the weight plus AF equals open parentheses A plus B close parentheses minus 2DG equals C plus D. So you've kind of got to work through some of this, and then he gives you some numbers for H, and H equals, and I don't know how much of the cache page may have changed over the years. So in this is kind of the fun one because it gives you a square root in the math equation. I guess let me see if I can. There you go. There we go. So it gives you a square root to deal with, and then it has a couple of multiple sets of parentheses inside parentheses, kind of like what K-Blast did in his very first comment, where he had a bracket and then a curly Q bracket and then a parentheses and then the other half of the parentheses and whatnot. So in this, you would do, at least in this second one, you would do A plus D first and come up with an answer. And then you would do 5 times that answer, right? And then you would add the 2 times the weight to that 5 times A plus D, right? And that would get rid of all of this bracket, right? You would then need to let's see. Square root is an order. So you would have to do the square root net. Well, I think the square root in this I'd have to work the problem out, but I don't know if what they're looking for is the square root of just the stuff in parentheses. I'm assuming so. Times J at the end, or if you have to multiply J times what you get inside the parentheses and then take the square root of that number at the end. It's kind of, I believe that the square root is an exponent or is the same value as an exponent. So you have to do the square root at the same time that you would do the squaring or cubing or whatnot for that. So unfortunately, we don't have the year of the bridge or the weight, so we can't work through this one. So just know that this is one that kind of can mess you up. And here he says, when you're doing the above math problem, don't forget proper order of operations. PEMDAS, which is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. If you can't do the math, he says decrypt the stage 1 hint, and he has a hint for that down in there. So, but this was one that we had that I had found. It's long been archived now. That was in Pennsylvania. So if you're in the far southeast corner of Pennsylvania, north of like Morgantown, West Virginia, that's where this one was, just off of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. So there's that. Didn't want to spend too much time, but it does have some PEMDAS in it. What we do want to do is spend some time on this archived cache that is, let me get the GC code up for our live viewers so that y'all can follow along. We're actually going to work through this entire cache page and whatnot, but I wanted to share the cache page with you before I pull up the PowerPoint slideshow that I have that works through all of the math for this thing. So here is this one. This is it's a 4 difficulty, and is pretty close to being properly rated, in my opinion. It's called Sally's Song and Dance, and which I find kind of funny because if you know one of the other ways of saying PEMDAS or to remember it is to please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And so that is kind of, let's see, Sally's Song and Dance right there. Share that and bring it in. Here's this. I have solved it. The checker still works on it. So that's always great. So if you solve this one, we're going to walk you through it. The checker does still work. And so you can log into the checker and get your name on there as solving it. So the cache starts off right here. It says the cache is not at the location at the above coordinates. You must solve the puzzle to get to the final coordinates to an easily accessible bison tube. First to find micro geocoin will be awarded to the first to find. And then you have this Sally's Song and Dance puzzle cache. And it says, shake up the cerebellum amid vanilla equations. Deep inside from Eureka, thoughts needed. Leap above expected dilemma from coordinates. And then it gives you a north and a west with a math problem. Now, if you solve this problem, if you read down into the cache page, after the cache owner archived it, they did explain how to solve it. But I wanted to show you this before you got there. So try not to
don't cheat.
Try not to jump down and read what the cache owner put. In the hint, it says, I know you'd know that part. So now you know there is more puzzle for you to know. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. That's a quote from Mark Twain. So when you come back up to the poem that's here.
Or is it?
When you come up here and look at the poem, you get 3 different lines. Each line has 6 words in it, right? And if you look at the last letter of each word, you have a P, E, M, D, A, S. So the first step is to do PEMDAS. Now, the second step is to do P, E, M, A, S, D. So you do the division last. And then in the third step, you do parentheses, exponents, division, addition, multiplication, and then subtraction. That will give you doing it the first way through PEMDAS will get you the degrees for north and west. And then doing the second step will get you the decimal. The
whole number.
The whole number. And then doing it the third step will give you the dot 3-digit number at the end of your coordinates that you need, right? Your decimal degrees.
Decimal minutes.
Yeah. So in this, there are 22 correct solvers. All of this is explained by the CO in their note, which in all fairness is right here, right? They come through and kind of tell you, and they give you the first couple of steps and give you the numbers that you need to solve, the correct numbers. But in that, Charles has a PowerPoint slide. I don't always love PowerPoint slides. Let's see. Aha, swap that and then minimize this one. All right, so then I can, let me go back one slide and present, share screen.
Share the other screen.
Windows, share this screen, and ta-da! Here you go. So here is your PEMDAS puzzle for Sally's Song and Dance, right? In this, if you copy and pasted that entire first math problem across there and just went to a Google search bar and put it in, Google will give you the correct answer, right? So if you take this whole math formula and put it into a Google search bar, you will come up with the correct number. Now, this only works on step 1 for the north and the west coordinates, right? So you only get this in that one step. So when you have to do the orders out of order, it won't give you the correct answer. So just know that going into it. So the first answer for the degrees for the north is 40, but we're going to show you how to get there. So here's the math equation. And the first thing that we have to do is everything inside the inside parentheses. So if you notice on the first set, there are double parentheses. We have to do everything on the inside of the parentheses first. And then since all of this stuff down here is in a single set of parentheses, we can do all of that at the same time. Just be careful if you do multiples of this at one time to keep your math straight, because your math can get confusing. So in this, we're going to start here at the very beginning. You have 5 plus 2 times 5 minus 5. So in your order of operations, you have parentheses. We're doing everything inside the parentheses. Do we have any exponents, Tom?
No.
No exponents. So then we do multiplication and or division from left to right. So 2 times 5.
That's
is
10.
10.
I don't even have to take my shoes and socks off.
Right. So now we have that. So now all of our multiplication and division is done. We have 5 plus 10 minus 5. Now you do addition and subtraction from left to right. 5 plus 10.
15.
Minus 5.
10.
All right. So our answers inside this parentheses are 10. Let's move over to the next set of parentheses. We have negative 48 plus 144 divided by 12 plus 36. So we have no exponents. So now we have to do multiplication and division.
We have division.
Right? So division. So 144 divided by 12.
A gross divided by a dozen is a dozen.
There you go. So we have negative 48 plus 12
is
negative 36.
Negative 36.
Plus 36.
I had to take my shoes and socks off. Come on, man.
I get it, man. I get it. So negative 36 plus 36
is a goose egg.
Is a goose egg. Perfect. All right. So moving to the next one, we have 8 times 2 plus 308. So 8 times 2
is 16.
Plus 308
is somebody getting a hole in them. No, 16 and 308 is 324.
Correct. And then you have 7 times 8.
56.
Plus 268.
A big number. Isn't that also 324?
It's also 324. So you have 10 plus the rest of whatever's in those parentheses plus 0 plus 324 minus 324. Right? So we've got to finish all of these parentheses and get rid of the parentheses. So in this, you have 10 times 4.
That's 40.
Plus 4.
Is 44.
Minus 2.
42.
Minus 3.
39.
All right. I guess in this, I broke this down. The multiplication step, right, is 40 plus 4 minus 2 minus 3. So the rest of that will then give you 39 plus 1 plus 0 plus 324 minus 324. That gives you
40.
40 plus and minus that, which gives you 40, which is exactly what Google gave us in the search bar, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do this. So the first is 40 degrees, north 40 degrees. We're going to do this for the west. Oh man, our little logo's up here in the way. Oh, that's okay, because 83 is the last number, and then it's close parentheses, close parentheses. So good enough. So here's the math equation for the west coordinates. In this, we need to do all of the inner parentheses first. So 16 times 4.
80 carried 80, 72, 64.
There you go. So 64 for that. And then you have 432 divided by 36.
Is a big number.
Is a big number, right? And so you'll have 36 plus that big number minus 48. I'll tell you, it's not really all that big. It's 12.
12.
And then you'll have 8 times 1
Is 8.
plus 83.
Is 91.
There you go. And then 4 times 2
8
plus 83.
91.
That's also 91. So there we go. Right. So in this, your whole middle step here, your 36 plus 12 is 48, minus 48 is 0. So that's where this 0 right here comes from. So you have 64 plus 9.
I'm sorry, I had to look at my phone. Work was bugging me.
That's okay. 64 plus 9.
73.
Correct. Plus 0.
It's still
minus,
73.
Plus, you have to do all of that 91 minus 91 because it's inside a second set of brackets.
So that's 0.
Right? So 64 plus 9 is your next step, plus 0 plus the highlighted 91 minus 91 gives you 73 plus 0 plus 0 gives you 73, which if you go back to the cache page is what the cache owner told you that you would get. This is also what Google gives you as 73. Now, the fun part of this comes in the next go around. Right?
This is going to be fun.
So this is the PEMDAS-based version of this. We take our original equation and we still have to get rid of all of the parentheses, right? And there are no exponents in any of this. So all we have to do is get rid of the parentheses, but we have to do it doing multiplication, addition, subtraction, then division, right? So in the first one, we have multiplication, 2 times 5.
10.
Plus 5.
15.
Minus 5.
10.
So that answer didn't change from the first go around, right?
Yeah,
but if we look.
First part of that equation is going to be pretty much the same as the first one.
Right. This is where it becomes fun. So
and the last part will be the same, but that middle changes dramatically.
That middle changes dramatically. So you have negative 48. So you have to do multiplication first. There is no multiplication in this. So now we're going to do addition, right? So negative 48 plus 44.
144.
Yeah, plus 144.
96.
Correct. So you positive 96, right? And then you're going to add 12 to 36.
48.
So you have 96 divided by 48.
2.
2. Right? You have, and then Nothing in the second part changed. The last two parentheses changed from prior, right? So you have 324 plus 324 minus 324. Your middle bracket is now 2. So now you have to do this part. So 10 times 4 plus 4 minus 2 minus 3 in this MASD order. So multiplication is 10 times 4 is 40.
40.
And then plus 4.
44.
Minus 2.
42.
Minus 3.
39.
So we're back to 39. 39. And so now we're going to do all of the addition portion of this. 39 plus 1.
40.
Plus 2.
42.
And then it really doesn't matter about the end because you're going to add the 324 and then subtract the 324. Right? Oh, I wonder why I highlighted that twice. Gives you 366 minus 324, which gives you 42. And so if you go back to the cache owners.
Whoa. 360. Okay, I see. Okay. I just did it in my head different, but yeah, you're right.
Okay. So if you go back to the cache owner's note that they wrote when they archived the cache, they also gave you this answer. So we got 42. So we did this correctly. Right? And so now time to do the west portion of this equation. Right? So again, inside parentheses for all of this stuff, but your MASD portion of it is going to be funky. But your 16 times 4 is 64, right? And then you have this 36 plus 4, 32.
I'm sorry. I'm answering the work question. Yeah, I'm answering the work question. I hate this, but we got big things going on.
You're okay. So 432 plus 36 is 468.
Yeah.
And then 36 minus 48 gives you what?
Minus 12.
Minus 12. So now you have a 468 divided by a negative 12.
Yeah.
Right?
So it ought to be a negative number, whatever it ends up being.
So 468 divided by negative 12, and then the end process gives you 91 on both ends because none of that changed. So when you do 64 plus 9, you end up with 73. And then 468 divided by negative 12 is minus 39. Right? So your 91 minus 91 gives you 0. And 73 plus a negative 39, which is just 73 minus 39.
34.
Right? 34 plus 0 gives you 34 for your answer. And if you go back to the cache owner's note that they gave you, this matches. Now comes the fun part because they didn't finish this for the last step for you. But Charles did. And we're going to go right on through it. So this is the PEDAMS portion of this, which makes it all kinds of crazy. And K-Blast, let us know if your brain is still intact or if it has broken already.
Hey, I can tell you I understand what we're doing and my brain's broken.
All right, so here we go. PEDAMS. So there obviously are no exponents. So we just need to get rid of parentheses. And by doing that, we need to do DAMS first. So in the beginning, there is no division. So there's addition. So 5 plus 2
is 7.
Times 5.
Ooh. Hold on. Yeah, because of multiplication. Okay, 7 times 5 is 35.
And then subtract 5.
30.
Which is way out of order, and I know this. But this is what you have to do, right? in order to solve this puzzle correctly, which is why I built a slideshow and why we're walking through it.
I couldn't do this any other way than how we're doing it right now. I would have to have that order written on the page in front of me.
Yeah, and that's why
constantly refer back to it, because that is so not in my.
It's crucial. It's crucial. All right, so you ready? Here's the other fun part. So you have to do division first. So 144 divided by 12
is 12.
And then plus 36.
12 and 36 is 48.
So negative 48 plus 48?
0.
Right? Which is different than what we got in the last round of this. Because the last round, that gave us 2, right? So just by simply doing them out of order gives you a completely different set. So now we have to do the addition. This becomes the fun part. 2 plus 308 is?
310.
Times 8 is a big number that we'll get to in just a second.
2410.
Cheater.
No, I did that in my head.
And so 268 plus 8.
276.
Times 7.
No, I ain't doing that one.
All right. So it gives you 2480 and 1932. Right? So now you have the rest of this first one that you have to deal with, right? And you got to do DAMS. So addition here, you have to do 4 plus 4.
8.
Times 30.
8 times 30 is 240.
Yeah, so 240 minus 5.
240 minus 235.
So, right, so that's your minus 2 and minus 3, right, is minus 5.
Yeah.
Right? So you get through this, you get 235 plus 1 plus 0 plus 2480 minus 1932. So you have to do all of your addition first, right? And oops. So all of your addition first, your 235 plus 1 plus 2480, right? Is
26, 2715.
It'll be 16.
Well, with the plus 1.
Yeah. Minus the 1932 gives you 784. Right? Oh, Lori, it'll be okay. My brain, the first time I tried to work through some of this was like, no, just because I have such a strong background. And we were talking about this. I'm mostly just impressed with the CO's work to pull this off. Me and Tom talked about this before the show, and Tom was like, I don't know how they did it, but I like it. What did it take to get all of this and make it all work with just the 2 equations? And, and so I don't know how they did it. The cache has been archived. And so I don't know if the cache owner is responding or if they're still active, but they made it work somehow. So let's get through the last equation that you have to do for the west in this. Oh, I moved my mouse. Hang on. Over here. All right, so here's the PEMDAS.
You can't move your mouse until you roll the dice. I've played that game.
Yeah. So 16 times 4.
We got to do it. Okay. No.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to do it like that, but okay.
That's inside the inside parentheses. There's nothing else to do inside that.
I know, but I jumped to the parentheses with the division in it. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm just doing a different order, but yours works. So 16 times 4 is 80 minus 16 is 64.
64. All right, so now we have to do the DAMS in this one. So 432 divided by 36.
Probably 12.
12. So now we do the addition. 36 plus 12.
48.
Minus 48.
0.
0. All right, on to the next one. 1 plus 83.
84.
Times 8.
Big number.
Big number. And the same thing with this. 83 plus 2.
85.
Times 4.
300 and something.
All right. Ta-da! So we have 64 plus 9 plus 0. And then you have to do this 672 minus 340 because it's inside the inside brackets, parentheses, right? Oh, look at that. So Judy went and did the thing for us. The cache owner logged in on 11/3 of 24. So
I am definitely going to contact this guy and just
and be like, how did you do this?
I'll be doing
tell them we
I'm
talked
not
about it
worthy.
on a show. You got to go check it out. Because it's archived, I don't mind sharing all of this, but definitely very math strong in however they figured all of this out. So 672 minus 340 is a number, and 64 plus 9 is 73. 73 plus that other number gives you 405. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. And so in this, 405 is the last number that you need. And 748 or 784. So if you have 784 and then the 405, right? Now you can go and get the numbers off of the cache page, but we work through them. It's 40 space 42 dot
784, wasn't it?
784, and then what? I don't remember what the west coordinates were. In fact, here, hang on. Let me stop sharing this. Boop. Escape and close that PowerPoint because share screen, Sally song and dance, and add this back because I went and solved it, and I was a solver. But when you're logged into Certitude, it will update the notes for you. So on Monday, 4 November, yesterday, as I was building this PowerPoint slideshow, I went in and did this. So it's 40 space 42.784 and west 073 34.405, right? And it says bush to the right of tree. That's the hint that you get from Certitude. So if you go into Certitude and put in those numbers that we got, you obviously will get a correct solution to this. I like this, but getting there, Gary brings up a very good point. I get the math, but I never would have gotten there because of the poem. And I realized that it was 3 lines, each one had 6, but I didn't put the PEMDAS, the order of all of that stuff together right away either. Apparently, and I haven't gone any further down the cache page than the owner's archive note, right? But apparently, if you read down through some of these, it will tell you there are some hints that are in some of these logs about Aunt Sally's last letter or something. And so if you read through all of the logs, then somehow you would have stumbled upon that there was something that you needed. Now, I haven't read through the logs, and I don't know which one says it, but even the cache owner states in their archived log, there you go. If you're ever bored, try to take 3 known different numbers and write one equation that gets you 3 different answers by changing the rules. This makes it work for the West on same rule changes, right? So, you know, let's see. Sally solved the last answer. Let's see. Somewhere in here. Here we go. So the last letter of the words on the first line, PEMDAS, are known in American teaching system as "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," representing the order of operations, parentheses, exponents, my dear relative who is doing this song and dance as her excuse. You know, so it, there are hints on the page and in log notes, some about what you need is what gets you in trouble, or the last letter from a dear relative. So the last letter from Aunt Sally in her poem is supposed to somehow trigger you to look at this. Now, I realized that there were 6 words and 3 lines, but I didn't put that together initially either. It would have been a far stretch for me to get there.
I think you would have got there eventually.
But in all fairness, this is a 4 difficulty.
This is like this is like that first puzzle, or not that first, but my favorite puzzle that took me like I've talked about it a bunch of times, 1.5 years to solve. It's once you see it, it's obvious.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But you're going to stare at this 1,000,000 times before that light bulb turns on.
Yeah. So knowing that this is there, and whatnot, up in New York, the pages, the cache is obviously archived. I didn't go in to look and see if they had remade the puzzle and put it somewhere else. But I found this one that was archived that had a checker, and I was like, yeah, I can solve that one. So there we go. That was Sally's Song and Dance. If you want a copy of my PowerPoint that kind of walks you through it, shoot me an email at puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com. Let's see, where is that? Dun, 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 dun. There it is. So shoot us an email, puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com, and I'll just attach the PowerPoint and send it back to you, so that you have it if you want it. If you don't want it, don't send me an email. It's kind of that easy. So there's that for you, if you want. We've got 2 other caches to show you tonight. We're not going to go over either of them. Maybe just a little bit for this one. This is a cache by a cache owner down in Arizona. His name is Rad Dad. This is relatively new cache. It was hidden in 2022. And we will throw this into the chat room for our live viewers. This is GC9RWNJ. And so let me present, share
let's
screen.
just say this right off the bat. This one is considerably easier than the one we just did.
Considerably. There is a checker on it, which is what I like. So we're going to share this. It is by Rad Dad 1. And so it's been found 37 times. It is in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is where I'm at. So I plan on solving this and finding it before I go home to Utah. But the cache is not at the posted coordinates. You will need to solve for A, B, C, and D, E, F. Those are the last 3 digits in the north and west coordinates. And so in this, you get 18 divided by 6 times open parentheses 4 minus 3 close parentheses. So we have to do parentheses first. 4 minus 3
is 1.
So 18 divided by 6
is 3.
times 1
is 3.
Oh, so there's A, right? Considerably easier than the last one. As long as you follow PEMDAS through all of these, this is a pretty straightforward cache to solve. He does have a checker, right? So a checker, so that you can do it. There's no external checker. So this is where the challenge is going to come in. Hang on, let me get this banner off of there. So this is where the challenge is going to come in. If you want to be entered to win a free trackable mailed to you of a undisclosed type of trackable, then I need a screenshot of this solution checker that shows a green check mark that you solved it correctly, right? So I need a screenshot of this solution checker with a correct answer in it, right? And so that's half of it. So stay tuned. This is considerably the easier of the challenges. 2 pieces. This is one of them. The other half is to the last puzzle in this. So let me remove this and stop sharing this screen. The last puzzle that we're going to look at, and we're not going to walk through it because this is part of the other challenge, the other half of the challenge, is we need a screenshot of a correct answer from the checker for this geocache, which has been archived, but the checker is still up and running. So it's GC 41050. This one is considerably harder. This is a 4.5 difficulty rated cache. And so in this, don't be mad at me. I just come up with fun stuff to keep y'all busy. Tom is the one that actually suggested this, so it's his fault.
What?
So math test order of operations.
Hey, your transmission's leaking and your muffler needs replacing.
Yeah.
On your bus. While I'm under there, I might as well look for you.
Yeah. Make sure that catalytic converter hasn't been stolen. All right. So for this one, it's a 4.5 difficulties. It's not easy. I have actually worked through the first portions of this, and I really hate this CO because it really makes you work. So we need a screenshot of the cache from Rad Dad. We need a screenshot of the checker from this J 06 that shows that you have completed both of these. And if you do that before next month's show, you will be entered in, and we will spin the wheel there on the show next month of all of the people who submitted correct answer or screenshots of both solution checkers showing that you solved the geocache puzzles, and you'll be entered in to win a geocoin of some kind that's been unactivated and will be yours to keep. We just will need a mailing address. So let's scroll down and look at this. So this tells you that right? I like how they kind of say parentheses. Start with the innermost set of parentheses first and work outward. So, and he kind of gives you an example. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2.
2.
6 times 2 is 12,
12.
right? I like how he starts pretty simple, right? This is how you work these exponents. Square root of 3 plus 1. So 3 plus 1
is 4.
Square root of 4
is 2.
Is 2, right? And then so for this exponent, it's 3 squared
is 9
times 2
18
is 18. Perfect, right? And so then you work down the multiplication, division, and the addition, subtraction, right? We've kind of beat that rule, so we'll just keep scrolling down. So I like how he starts and has these like simple equations up here at the top, because you're like, oh yeah, I've got this. And then you scroll down to this.
And then you start calling him names.
4-letter words that we're not allowed to say on the air, and whatnot. So you have the square root of all of this plus
the first hard part of doing A is finding what's the innermost parentheses.
Right? Plus that, and then divided by that. And so, I mean, if you just look at this, like you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of closed brackets all at the same spot, which is just crazy.
Oh my God. I don't like A, B, or C. I'm going to get that off my chest right now.
Well, it doesn't get any better when you get down here to E, where he gives you square root of this and the square root of this, or this one where he gives you the square root of 2 to the square root of this.
Yeah, but at least you change numbers up. Every number in A is a 2. Every number in B is a 3. And every number in C is a 1.
It gets complicated.
Yeah, it gets hard on your eyes.
It is. So there is a geochecker for this one. So here's the link to the geochecker right on the cache page, and whatnot. This one got archived for no owner intervention. Keystone was the reviewer who archived it. So you can see where the cache owner temporarily disabled it back in 2013. Never came back to yes, he went from 7/13 to 10/13, nothing. And then at the end of October 2013, the reviewer archived it. So in theory, the checker all still works and whatnot. So if you want to get entered in for a cool geocoin, send a checker solution with this, a good checker solution for this, along with a good checker solution that shows that you completed the checker for the other one. And if you send a picture of both of those in an email to puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com before next month's show, we will, in fact, before the Sunday of next month's show, then that's right. Here's square root, there's square root, everywhere square root. Yes, as Emily would say, if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be a challenge. So Tim and them are getting geared up for their next challenge talk show. And we're going to kind of dip into that realm. I challenge you to solve these 2 puzzles. Send in a proof screenshot that shows a check mark or a positive solution from the checker. And as long as I get an email with both of those in said email, you'll be entered for next month to I got you. It's right there. There you go, Judy. Puzzle Talk Podcast, all one word, at gmail.com. So if you can send both of those solutions, screenshots of both of these to that email address that shows that you got a check mark from the checker and a positive solution and whatnot, then you'll get entered for a geocoin, a really cool geocoin. So if you're interested in that, go forth. If you are interested in getting the PowerPoint, send me an email to this email address, and I will send you the PowerPoint for the last cache that we worked through with the PowerPoint and whatnot. So, yeah, I think that's it.
I hope so, because my brain is spinning.
Is it?
I'm still stuck on that Sally one. How did he come up with that? That's just.
Hey, there's still active cache owners. Send him a message.
I'm going to. As soon as we're off here, I'm sending him a message.
Tell him, say, Charles worked through your this archived cache on the Puzzle Talk podcast, and I want to know how you did it. I live here. How can I make one for this area? And go that route. So, yeah, still active cacher. Thanks for checking on that, Judy. We appreciate that. Cheers.
Remind me, I got my drink here.
That's right. So, he's got to smell it before he drinks it. I like that.
Well, okay. So we go to this restaurant on Tuesdays. Of course, I didn't get to go tonight. And since day one that they opened, they make me a drink that I don't know what it is. And every week I mean, it's not an alcoholic thing. They do teas and coffees and that kind of stuff. But I don't know what it is. And so it's a stump to chump kind of thing. And I'm supposed to figure out what they put in it. And oh man, and it smells good.
I like that it's in a little styrofoam cup.
Usually when I'm at the place, it's in a mason jar.
Yeah. So today is election day. I hope as if you are an American and have the right and ability to vote, because not all Americans have that that liberty. Some of them have had it taken away from them. But I hope you got out and exercised your right to vote for however it is you decided to vote. But that is one of the founding principles of this country. And regardless of how you voted, I just hope that you got out and exercised your right and whatnot. So we'll see here in a few days how that all pans out and whatnot. But hope that everybody got out and gave their civic duty and right to vote opportunity to let your voice be heard. So we'll see where it goes in the future. But for it being National Election Day, I voted. Tom voted today. My son, who's on a Navy ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean right now, they got to vote. So he got an absentee ballot, and they got those delivered to the aircraft carrier. And then once they were all done, they got delivered back to the mainland. So, and then sent to their respective places. So hope everybody got the ability to go out and do that. And regardless of how you voted. We just hope that you got out there and voted and took part in the election.
And no matter who wins what, the world will keep turning anyway.
And we will be back next month with another Puzzle Talk show.
We will.
Let's see.
Especially if y'all send in an idea of what we should talk about.
That's right.
Don't leave it up to us.
We haven't done that in a while. So if you have a idea for a show that you would like to do, and in that I got an email. So I need to back up because did I get an email? Where did I get this at? I'm trying to think. Maybe I got it in. No, it wasn't in Instagram. Nick sent one. So I'll have to find it. We did a show on the guy in New Mexico who hid that bounty of stuff, the thrill of the chase, right?
Yeah.
There's a new one. There's a new something like that that's come out. And let me see if I can find it real quick. Because if I can, then I will share that.
It's not one of those things for 4 easy payments and $19.95 each. You two can join the chase and.
No. Let me see.
Although those could be fun too, but I'm just saying.
Well, it's not there. So, all right. So it is in our email. Nick Cap sent it. It is treasureinside.com. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. So he shared it with me the other day and said, all right, Puzzle Boys, I recall your Chasing the Thrill interview a couple of years ago. We have a new national hunt looming on the horizon. HTTPS treasureinside.com. Oh, there he is in the chat room. So it is this treasureinside.com. He said, I'm claiming you all on my team. Laugh out loud. Nick. So if you do send us emails, Charles does read them. And we do get to it. So if you want to check out this treasureinside.com, I've looked at it. It's open for pre-orders right now. So I don't know what all that entails. I haven't read through a lot of it. But it's out there. So if you want to have us do a show on something specific, send us an email. If you would like a copy of the PowerPoint from tonight's show, send me an email. If you have an idea for a show, send us an email. And if you solve these two puzzles, send screenshots of your positive geochecker whatnots, and you'll get entered to into a drawing to win a coin, a geocoin. And then if you want to check out this Treasure Inside by John Collins Black, give that a shot. The prize bucket on there looks pretty cool. It looks like there's an Atlanta Olympics gold medal in there. That looks really cool.
So those are geocoins in the back then, huh? The ones.
No, I wish it says there's 1 kilo of 999.9 pure gold.
Holy crap! No, what? On the far right, look at that. Looks like a ball. Look what that says. Look what that says. It is.
Oh, moon rock. A moon rock. Yeah. So this is interesting. We'll do some looking at this and whatnot. But if you have an idea for a show a topic that you would like us to go over, send us an email. Send us a couple of GC codes if you can find some. If we can make an hour and 15 or hour and a half show out of it, absolutely will. We'd love to do that. And then if you get a PEMDAS puzzle published, send us the GC code for it. We'll absolutely 100% promote it on the show, and hope to send people your way. And if you can, we'll leave this open for another discussion, but we may throw out the gauntlet and have some lackey tags as prizes for people who get some certain puzzles published. We'll save that for the new year. But that is all that we've got for tonight. Tom, any last words, sir, before we go?
Yeah, I think I'm getting this book.
Hey, well, Nick's already put dibs on you and me that we're on. And
I'm a team player.
I have no problem splitting that treasure 3 ways. I'm just saying, I have no problem with that. So, all right.
How much is a Michael Jordan rookie card worth?
Is it autographed?
Doesn't look like it.
I bet you could get it autographed. That's probably easy 4-digit number, maybe 5.
And the one on the far left.
So
I wonder if that's the original Pokey card. That is a Pokey card.
Oh Lord! So thanks, Nick.
Hey.
We got Tom going down the rabbit hole now.
I got my gear on. I'm tunneling through the hole.
So, all right, we will see y'all next month, which will be December the 3rd, at the same bat channel, same bat time. Until then, get outside, go geocaching, solve some puzzles, and we'll see you guys on the next podcast.
Cool. Bye.